for the Muppet Monsters. First one is Yorick. So Yorick is actually just the head. It's a purple monster that has a huge appetite, and his debut was 1954. That was before Kermit, and he also appeared. And the picture you're looking at right now is the picture of him eating crackers and celery, and where hunger comes. It's like hunger comes from, something like that, and it's from Sam and Friends. Moving on to the bigger Muppets, Dog. He's the biggest one of all, and he appeared in his debut is 1970. And also, the Great Santa Claus, which is his debut. And later on to become the Muppet Show. But he was rebuilt into a larger size Frog in the 2011 movie. Fig. So he is Dog's partner in crime, who looks like a green Sweetums. Not much to say, except he only appeared in the Great Santa Claus Switch. Nothing else. Mad Monty. He is a pirate and a secondary antagonist in Muppet Treasure Island. Beautiful Day Monster. He first appeared in 1966 in Wheels, Flutes, and Crowns, where he was known as the Crown Grabber. And this was the first debut of the Cookie Monster, who was first named the Wheel Stealer. There was also the Flute Snatcher, who didn't have a big history, but he's not in this video. And the Beautiful Day Monster still retained his appearance as this blue, horrifying creature. I mean, not horrifying, but he just looks creepy. And he also appeared in many episodes in Sesame Street and a lot of segments in various episodes. But then he later rebuilt into this less frightening blue monster who still retains the name. So that's just pretty much it. But the old Beautiful Day Monsters only exist in memories to this day. Timmy Monster. Now, there are various performers of this character and various elements of evolution when it comes to this costume Muppet. Now, the early version looks like it has like antennas, and I didn't like that. And later on he became this. He had the picture looking right now. He obviously has sharp teeth and has a very angry appearance. But then teeth were removed and the angry eyes were removed, but still looks scary. Now the final appearance, he had a tail, still retains the color, lost his hair, and small teeth, and doesn't look angry, and looks a lot less scary. But he still, unfortunately, does not exist today. Gloat. So he also appeared in the Great Santa Claus Switch, who was used as Cosmo Scam's henchman, and later became a nameless freckle in the Muppet Show. The Lunch Encounter Monster. I don't know much about this character, except that he's actually one of the Muppet Monsters, and also a machine. Mean Mama. This is a full-bodied Muppet, one of the bigger Muppets, but it is often seen with Sweetums and the others. And Sweetums will go on later. Mean Mama is actually one of the more ferocious Muppet monsters, and one of the largest, and also appeared in the Ugly Song in the Muppet Show. The Gray Freckle, and this character made cameos in Muppet Christmas Carol, and Muppet Treasure Island. And Muppet Christmas Carol, he was in the song, the Scrooge song in the beginning of the movie. And used as a villainous pirate in Muppet Treasure Island in the beginning. Shaky Sanchez. Not much to say because I don't know much about him, but he looks more like a frantic character than more like this angry, scary character. And he was also eaten by Behemoth, where we go later on. Splurge. He was actually the first full-bodied Muppet. And in one skit in the Ed Sullivan Show, he was blue and it was used as like a mother monster. But I like the purple better. And also appeared in Sesame Street one scene. Behemoth. So, this is a character that actually made it to the present day in Muppet's Haunted Mansion. This is his earlier version, where he doesn't look that scary. He still doesn't look that scary, except he has, he has eyebrows now, but he still doesn't look scary that much. Droop. Now he's another one of the less frightening characters, and he was first used as Snively in the Great Santa Claus Switch, and he was like angry and stuff, but now cider eyes and made it on to the present day. Dog Lion. So his latest appearance was in The Muppets Take the O2, and is a partner to Sweetums. But he's a very angry character. If you see like one clip where he was like destroying a garden and even shot a bird off screen, he shrank because he was like awfulness and something and was kicked away. That was in one episode. Another horn monster, Gorgon Heap. I don't know if he's full-bodied, but he is known for eating other Muppets. And he was not like seen again after that. Lothar. So this is a dragon. So, and also like and he can fly too. One of Cosmo Scam's henchmen, and he's like the only character of Cosmo Scam's henchmen to not be a freckle. And this is what he looks like in the Great Santa Claus Switch. And this is the same like puppet they used, but and later on in the Muppet Show, he was like this ugly brown-haired dragon for some reason, and he was ugly in like the Muppet Show, like the brown hair all over his body and stuff. But in the Great Santa Claus Switch, he looks good. He looks great for a dragon monster. Miss Kitty. So you'll usually see Miss Kitty with the teeth, the ferocious teeth. But he also appeared in the Great Santa Claus Switch, where he was used as the Matchbox freckle. One of his notable appearances was holding like a big size match. It didn't even look like a match, and it had fire on it. And later on became a Muppet Show character. But and also he had a different nose, like it was green, but now it's blue. I don't see him in recent appearances. Mulch. Okay, so this puppet was actually, I don't know much about it, but he's like a science character, but like he's like a Frankenstein character. He has a hunchback. The blue freckle, also known as boppity. This angry-looking freckle is of course Great Santa Claus Switch, and he was named Boppity where he first appeared, but later became nameless freckle And back then, in like season 1, he had a blue beak, but then later on in the present day, he had like a tan beak, like you see in this picture. Snake Freckle. So this is actually my favorite. And fun fact, and also pretty sad fact, he was rebuilt into JG Freckle, who is what we're getting later on, where JG will be coming later in this video, which is a hint. Manila Grindelwald. I don't know much about this character, but it's like this large Muppet. I don't know if it's full bodied or not, but she was a very early Muppet, and also was like, and also one scene like Sesame Street, something like that. Big Mean Carl. So I've like seen him eating like other Muppets, and was also eating bunnies, like also eating rabbits as well, and also appeared in later Muppet, like Muppets in the present day. So if you're like, and he also has like a bunch of clear like pictures of him. Not like the cut. Yeah, there's like a good quality of like the picture of him, which is nice. Like you see here, the mutations. So they are a trio of Muppet monsters, full-bodied Muppets, and they're like based off of like something like the mutation. I forgot what the name is, but it was like based off of like some band or something. Also, usually I like 3 mutations better, but in the Muppet intro there's like usually 2 mutations or something. Sometimes even 1 mutation. Big V. So he looks a lot like Gorgon Heat, but he's an early version of him. He had like a long nose and ate Kermit multiple times in like the 60s or something. And later on became Gorgon Heat, who looks a lot less scary than this frightening monster. The purple Freckle. So he's actually one of the later Freckles, including Muppet's Haunted Mansion. He looks like the Great Santa Claus Switch Muppets, but he's like one of the newer Freckles. He's not the newest, but he's a newer Freckle. Now we have these 2 early Freckles who sadly did make a new appearance. So these are like the bird Freckles, also appearing in the Great Santa Claus Switch, but sadly no appearances. There's not a lot of information about these, except the green one is actually sometimes used as a female Freckle, but I just use them as a male since these guys have various performers. Now we're getting on to this character, Sweetums himself. So he's not underrated, but he's not overrated. So this big hairy ogre is actually like one of the, he actually debuted 1971, which is like a few years before the Muppet Show. But like I don't know like where like he debuted before the Muppet Show, but he just became a Muppet monster that still exists today. Uncle Deadly. So this is also one of the more like popular Muppet monsters, and of course is a dragon. But unlike Lothar, who is not that detailed, Uncle Deadly goes into a lot of the detail. Like this is not a good quality like image, but there is many pictures of him with good quality. This might be like 20 minutes, who knows. So this is the pink Freckle, who's also one of the Freckles who made it on to the present day in Muppet's Haunted Mansion. Not much to say. Also this guy. But there's actually another evolution of this character. Like, before he was like a purple face, but then this is the pictures you're looking at right now are actually just his, like, this normal freckle look. And you can see a gloat in the bottom picture. And there's also this other picture where he has like these clothes on and a bow tie. No, not like a bow tie, like a tie on his like shirt. And also has a cigarette in his mouth. Now, you remember I was talking about Snake Freckle earlier, right? But now here's JG. Very similar, right? But they are meant to be different. So JG has like he has shoulders and doesn't have a snake body, and he has more teeth and he looks less scary. But even with a Muppet monster like this, they still look the same as like generic Muppet monsters. But he has a name. Now we're going to the latest Freckle, Mo Freckle. So Mo Freckle is one of those. He actually debuted in like 2001, which is actually one of the latest Muppet monsters. And of course, after when they ran out of ideas, when the Muppet Show like came out, when the Muppet Show ended, I mean, and this character actually made it onto the Muppet's Haunted Mansion, which is nice. Lenny the Lizard. So he, in the category of the Muppet Wiki, he's not classified as like a Muppet monster, but rather just a reptile. And was also eaten by Gorgon Heap with a long nose. The flower eating monster. So it's like one of those monsters that, one of those early monsters. There's also a very low quality of this monster eating like flowers and is blown, and he was like blown the fur out of his face. And one scene in the dancing scene of the very first episode of the Muppet Show in season 1, he smoked out of his head. Now here's Angel Murray from Muppet Treasure Island. So his graceful name actually is like, in reality, he's, as you can see in this picture, he's obviously like this grotesque, ugly monster who is actually one of the pirates, just like Mad Monty during the middle of the movie. Blind Pew, so he's actually one of the characters looking for Billy Bones, and he, of course, Blind Pew, he can't see anything, and he's like he's like one of the ugly pirates, and also he was in the beginning. He was the first evil pirate. Spotted Dick. So this character is like, there's not a lot of information about him, like, except that he's one of the pirates and is a antagonist. Nigel from the Muppets Tonight. So he looks like Droop, but lighter color, and he has clothes. Last one is Fred. So Fred is like he's like this frightening monster, and also he appeared in one scene in Sesame Street where, like, early episode where like Ernie goes rock hunting and collects rocks. He found like a big rock, and the rock was actually on top of Fred's head, but he does not have the teeth or like the antenna out of his head, and he looked creepy. Like, I mean, without the teeth, I mean, he looked scarier without the teeth or the antennas on. I mean, and he just, well, Ernie ran away from him. He stared at the screen with eerie music and went back to the ground with the rock on his head. And that was one eerie scene. And he was also on the Ed Sullivan Show with Splurge and even his son. So that's it for the Muppets. So like and subscribe. So see you in the next video.